Hello and welcome to this Tattersalls Cheltenham Festival preview night. Thank you all so much for coming. I am joined by an esteemed panel, the dream panel some may say, not more so than Ger Hannon, who only got the call up approximately 2 minutes ago, so well done. Good man, Ger. Gordon Elliott, obviously has been slotted into this slot since 12 months ago when you gave us a winning nap, so we're expecting the same again at the end of the show. We have Ben Pauling. In fact, that means that we actually have two of the hottest trainers either side of the Irish Sea in terms of strike rate. Nothing else. Obviously. And we also have Robbie Power as well, of course. So how we're going to do this, just so you all know, we're just going to cover the grade ones, and then after the first 2 days, we're going to do a bit of handicapping chat. Then the next 2 days, just grade ones, and then we'll do handicapping chat and any other business. So if you think we've missed out some obvious horses or some obvious races, we probably will be mentioning them in due course. But obviously we want this to be strong opinions only, lads. Especially you, Gordon, no waffle. Yeah. Right, and we'll kick off. Well, actually, just first up, sorry, Gordon, we'll start with you because I joke, but obviously it's been a mega season so far. How strong do you think the team is coming into this Cheltenham?
Yeah, we're hoping we've got a good team of horses to go over. I think we looked at it the other day, we've got 84 individual entries. Hopefully get about 40, 50 horses to run, but yeah, looking forward to it.
40 or 50. How many will you have, Ben?
It's a few less. Probably somewhere between 10 and 15, which for us was a lot. It'd be probably the most we fielded with chances, hopefully.
And it's not about the numbers, is it? Because if you win the Gold Cup, you won't mind.
I've put it on my right side because I can't see it. I'm blind,
so you just don't get too used to it.
I won't get used to it. So yeah, no, we'll come to that later. Hopefully. We
will indeed, all in due course. Let's dive straight in with the Supreme, as we obviously would do here. And we've got Old Park Star at the top of the betting, who was a Tattersalls November National Hunt Sale graduate. But Gordon, I'm going to start with you because loads of chat about Al Kairos in here. 410,000 purchased at the Maxwell Dispersal Sale. Will he go here for starters?
Yeah, he definitely run this race. He's in good form. Yeah, obviously he was going to win well in Leopardstown when he came down at the last, and he won a kind of a no race in Thurles. I was just conscious I didn't want to go back for a grade one after getting the fall the time before. You can see it on the video here. Like he travelled very well down to the last. Obviously, the mistake he made at the last, to leapt straight back on the bridle. I thought was very impressive what he did, and you don't even see it there when you look at the speed they were doing from the last to the line. He was very fast. Look, he's a good horse. He landed down to the last on the bridle. Whether he's good enough from there home, I'm not sure, but he's a good horse and very classy.
And you also have Ballyfad in there.
Yeah.
Will he go to?
Yeah, he's ground dependent. He got bet by Talk to Talk in Leopardstown the last day, who I think is a very good horse. Classy horse. Ballyfad probably, if the ground dried out, he could maybe step out to 2.5, and if it stayed on the easy side, he could go for the Supreme Novice. He's a horse that shows absolutely nothing at home, but he does all his work on the track, and he's a very good horse.
Okay.
He's only had 2 runs over hurdles, so there's still improvement in him. A big horse with loads of scope.
Don't underestimate him for the future then, it sounds like. Joe, we should give Old Park Star a proper mention because obviously he is a Tattersalls graduate as discussed, and he tops the market, and rightly so, really.
She's the highest rated. He's a rating of 151 or something. And sure, Nicky Henderson has proven time again. Do you know, the first couple of races in Cheltenham on a Tuesday, he's deadly. I think he's a fine big horse. Grade 2 the last day, he won it an absolute canter. For me, he's the biggest danger to Al Kairos, but I just think the way Jack Kennedy speaks about Al Kairos and his work and the way he picked up really in the straight in Leopardstown at Christmas, I just think there was something a bit special about that too. I know he's a bit defined on ratings, but I'd find it hard to go away from Al Kairos.
Right, okay. 2 votes for him then, really. What about you, Robbie? Who else would you like to throw into the mix here?
Mighty Park.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
I thought he was very impressive when he was maiden. Willie's had an interrupted kind of season. He hasn't had the perfect build up to the race that he'd like, but he was very, very impressive when he won his maiden, and Old Park Star as well. But I think Joseph's horse Talk the Talk and Gordon's horse have to answer jumping questions. That's going to be their big thing. I've no doubt about the speed Gordon's horse has, but he won't get away in the Supreme Novices making those mistakes.
Okay.
Old Park Star.
I actually think he will, to be honest. If you watch him the whole way through the race, he travelled like a dream the whole way. I think we learned an awful lot by Thurles. The one thing, if Jack rides him, he might even go for Ballyfad. But whoever rides him will be having a go going to the last. I think the one thing with this horse, you look at him the last time, he's actually going that quick down to the last in his last 2 races. He nearly loses concentration. If he's in front before the last, I think upsides at the last, it'll be ideal. But he has, as Puppy says, you would worry about making the 2 mistakes, but it wouldn't concern me really, to be honest.
There you go.
I prefer not to make a mistake anyway. To win a Supreme would
Well,
be
we
a
might
help
as
anyway.
well. Do we have the chance just to ask Anthony Bromley about Talk the Talk? Come on, get this out the way early.
Yeah, that's me. Is that working?
Hopefully,
No,
I
You're
can
loud
hear you.
enough, you're loud enough.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, he's not been sold. That's one of the questions that normally people are asking me.
Because the team have made it very clear that he's up for sale.
No, he is up for sale if someone came up with the right money. But he'll be the double green, I would say. First race, first day at Cheltenham. He is entered in the Turners. He will be kept in the Turners probably at the 5-day stage. But I can't see why Joseph's going to change the plan at this stage. And because why would you change? Well, because you're suddenly worried about something in the Supreme. But there's enough horses in the Turners to be worried about as well. So if you start looking at everyone else's opposition, you'll get yourself in the right tiz. So we'll stick with what we were going to always do. It's the Supreme. I would say it's 90% he'll go there. But and they seem very happy with him at home.
And any concerns about the odd mistake he can make?
Well, not really. It's JJ's got to ride him, not me.
That's very true. That's very true.
Look, he improved his jumping from. I mean, he's progressing with each run, and he was always very well schooled by Stuart Crawford as a youngster. So I'm not too worried about that. He's sat next to me.
Did you pay him to say that? Okay, great. Well, I think that wraps up the Supreme then. We'll move on to the Arkle. And Ben, I'm going to start with you here because at the top of the betting, Lulamba, I just don't think he'll be beat here.
I mean, to me, Lulamba looks raw still, but he looks like an exceptional talent. So it's whether they go so fast early doors, he's caught a little bit on his hocks. If he gets in a rhythm, I think he'll be very hard to beat. I don't think he'd have beaten the Triumph if the horse that Willie's that came, Poneros or whatever it was, came and sort of mugged him, blindsided him. I think he'd have found plenty if he'd been next to him. But to me, he's if he wins this, he's exceptional. And Nicky's won it with some exceptional horses, Altior, Sprinter Sacra, and I think they probably class him in the same league. But I just think as long as he travels early doors, I think he can be a little bit cold. Obviously, we don't know an awful lot about Kopek de Board over fences. One run wouldn't be anyone's choice going into an Arkle. But I think he's obviously a better jumper of a fence than he was a hurdler, because he wasn't going to be a natural chaser, but he looked good enough on his only start. So
Yeah.
that would be good.
Well, Gordon, does Romeo Coolio go here?
Yeah.
Festival sale graduate, of course.
Yeah, look, I suppose if he goes to Cheltenham, it looks like probably the most obvious race he'd go for.
Because you'd rather go to Ferry House with him.
Look, obviously Cheltenham is Cheltenham, and the owners are from the UK, so they're very keen to go to Cheltenham. Ferry House, the race is probably made for him. Look, he's been very gutsy in his 2 runs. He battled very hard both days to win. For me, 2 miles would be a worry around Cheltenham, a bit like Ben says about Lulamba. He could just get took off his feet early, and that would be a worry for me. But look, he's a very good horse, he's very gutsy. But really, Ferry House is probably the race made for him. But the Arkle will be a good race. Kapek de Boer, obviously, as Ben says, he's only had 1 run. I think Well Chief won the Arkle with 1 run, and maybe one other horse, I'm not sure what he was called. But Kapek de Boer probably has the wow factor if he gets there, in the form he was in Supreme Novice last year. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very competitive race, and it wouldn't shock me if you even see one of the horses we're not even talking about win it.
Yeah, of course, because it feels like, the worry about Kopek and his build-up to the race, and then the fact that your lad might not even run, Cargisi in there, Lulamba, with everything you've just said. I don't know, there's a lot.
I'm a big fan, but I just think that's his only weakness is the early pace.
Yeah. I look, at the moment there does run. The plan is the Arkle. If he's win firing distance going to the second last, he'll be banged there, he'll come home very strong. But my own feeling is that, I just hope he doesn't get took off his feet too early. They're going to go helter-skelter, I think 2.5 probably is our horse's trip. But look, he's a good horse. He's 3 Grade 1s won, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Horse
Sorry
the
to
bigger
take your
price.
job quickly, but can
Go
I ask
for
you a question?
Yeah.
The DRF as a whole,
No, to be
has
honest,
it taken,
no.
has
to
it
be honest,
taken a lot
no,
of horses?
No. We travel.
like
We
that?
travel 35 to 40 minutes to DRF.
Yeah.
I'm sure Puppy will agree with you. Okay, they had hard races. We've hard races in Ireland every day of the week.
Not that hard.
You go to Navan, Punchestown, Fairhouse, Naas, every day of the week they've hard races. Our horses are match fit, they're ready for the races. We have to take on the best every day of the week. You know, you can travel 10 or 12 hours to Ayr or to Kelso or wherever and duck and dive each other. We have to take on the best of the best every day in Ireland. I mean, you talk about Willie Mullins
what we
treat.
do?
We talk
When you
about,
go to when you go to Hexham,
Sorry,
yeah.
I don't go north of Birmingham.
well, your horses do. To be honest, you take on Willie Mullins 3 times a year and cry about it. We have to take him on every day of the week. So, like,
I didn't ask for this. I asked
to be honest, listen, he had.
Is he tired? You haven't answered the question.
No, the horse came out. The horse,
brilliant.
the
That's
horse
it.
came out of the race fine.
That's it.
But,
That's it.
No, I was listening to
We're
the other
trying to
day,
keep it
so
short.
I was just waiting for it. Yeah.
The horse isn't tired. Ger, in terms of the Arkle, do you want to throw anyone else into the mix? It's not my job to be putting tips up for this, but I think Steel Alley is too big a price. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, got form with loads of your horses, I think.
Well, we've been thumped by him twice, but it's been when the first time at Ascot the horse was flat as a pancake, and Mambo Lynn's horse didn't go a yard in heavy ground the other day. Literally couldn't get out of his own way, and he's not a definite non-runner in this. He was 14-1 before the race at Warwick the other day, and he's now 50s because people just don't think we're going to go. But
Right.
we'll see how he is. He could go for handicaps. He could go for anything. I haven't got a clue. See how he is nearer the time. But it wasn't the ideal prep, you know.
Eddie Harty's horse, Irish Panther, shouldn't be overlooked either. He's
Currently about a 10-1 shot.
10 or 12 to 1
If,
shot.
if the ground were on the better side, he could be very
He
dangerous.
could, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to 2 miles. I think he'd have beaten Romeo Coolio over,
You're
over
not
flat
on the
2
panel.
miles
Yeah.
at Christmas. You know, he's a very, very good horse. But I do think the one thing that Gordon has in his advantage with Romeo Coolio, yes, there's no doubt that the 2 miles is going to be on the sharp side for him. But he's Jack Kennedy riding him. Jack's not going to put him on his head early on. Jack will be confident enough to accept it. And he's hardened. He's had 2 battles this season. He's a tough horse, and as Gordon says, if he's there between the last 2, I can see him galloping all the way up the hill because Jack won't cut his throat.
Okay, and Ger, anything else to add before we move on?
No, I wouldn't. I'd be co-pick the boards. I'd take a chance on it. For
Oh,
me,
you
just
would?
going on. He's such a good novice hurdler and all that. If I was a chance one, I know he's had one run, but to me, I just think there's a bit of wow about him.
Okay, let us move on to the big one on day 1 then, the champion hurdle. And I mean, Gordon, it's only right that we start with you here with the hope that Brighter Days Ahead is going to run.
Yeah, she definitely runs.
Here we go.
Yeah.
What's the update?
She's in very good form. Look, obviously she's been to Cheltenham twice and got beat, which is
How bored are you? Did you see how I didn't pitch that question to you? Because you must be bored of hearing it by now.
Well, I think it's easiest to answer before someone asks you.
Yeah.
You know, she's been there twice. It hasn't worked out. I think the first year, I wouldn't blame the mare. I'd say Jack and Paul were looking at each other coming down the hill, and that good mare, Golden Ace, Kevin bet no one would bet to both of them. No one was even talking about her. You know.
Yeah.
Last year, look, our mare wasn't right last year. She was beat for me going to the first hurdle. She came home. We found a little problem. We hopefully fixed it after Punchestown. She's had 2 runs this year. She's been very good. She's fresh. She's going into the race a fresh horse. Probably like to see all the rain fall and it keeps falling. You know, the easier the ground, I think the better chance she has. She's in great form. I wouldn't swap her. But yeah, it is a concern. She's been to Cheltenham twice and got beat.
Okay. Ben, if Constitution Hill was yours, what would you be doing with him?
Look, I think he should run. I think he's a jumper, and that's just me. I think Matt Chapman spoke a lot of sense when he said put up a video of him schooling that everyone can see and he can do it, so it takes the pressure off Nicky. We all know how good that horse is. He's had a really rough season. Is he going to be as good? I was so confident he'd come back and win the Christmas hurdle last year, which he did. But I'm not so confident he can keep coming back. I think horses that are this talented maybe don't have the strongest minds because they're just so, they don't ever have to fight, and when they do, it becomes harder. So I'd love to see him in it because I think it brings something to the race. I'd be really disappointed if everybody goes and gives him shit if he falls, which would happen. But I think Golden Ace is the forgotten horse. She's obviously deadly round Cheltenham. You know, okay, she's been very lucky to win last year. She has to be. I mean, State Man was going to win, and Gordon, you know, they didn't give her the credit she was worth in the mare's hurdle, mare's novice. But I think she's a very good mare, and I feel she deserves a shout in every preview, to be honest, because at the moment she's the rock solid performer at the track in that race.
Yeah, and what about the new Lion? What were we saying about him? Good enough? Good enough?
I mean, I personally don't think he looks like he's got enough speed myself. No. I thought he looked under pressure in the fighting fifth when he fell. I don't think he would have definitely won that. And this was a average race at best. And yes, they rode him to win Cozy just at the end. But I don't think he's necessarily my idea of a champion hurdle winner, but I might be wrong.
What do you think, Robbie?
I think he could be a champion hurdle winner in the year that's in it, the new Lion. He'll have to jump a lot thicker in the champion hurdle than he did the last day. I know Harry was minding him, but he's got to mind himself as well, a bit like Constitution Hill. I agree with Ben. I think he has to run in the race. If he was mine, I definitely want to ride him in anyway, for a start. He's the best horse in the race. From a punting point of view, you couldn't back by her days ahead with her course form, but this year has been different for her. She had a lovely run at Christmas and was very impressive the last day. But what she's done around Cheltenham just would concern you from a punting point of view. Obviously Gordon's not looking at it that way, but I want to see Constitution Hill run. That's what racing wants, and if he goes out and does what he does, it'll be good for racing. If he goes out and falls, it won't be good for racing.
It's just going to be...
It's one of these things that they're championship races, you want to see the best jumpers in them. He's potentially the best 2 mile hurdler around, and I want to see him run.
Yeah, I want to see him run as well, and yeah, I think, you know, if you're a racing fan, of course you do.
So you're watching a scary movie, just get a pillow in front of you.
Horrendous, horrendous, yeah.
I'd let him off.
Yeah.
Go on.
And if you're having a bet in the race, what are you backing?
I actually don't fancy the favourite, the new Lion. I don't think he's quick enough for Robbie says. I don't think he jumps well enough. I think the mare, Gordon's mare, I think she's just her run the last day and the way the season's been built up, and outside of that, Constitution Hill has to jump. I think if he jumps in the champion hurdle, you'd love to just see them, I don't know, whether put cheek pieces on him. I think he needs cheek pieces or something like that. Whether they do headgear, I don't know. He probably needs something just to concentrate on after a couple of falls. But he's just the one that you'd be most worried about. But for me, it would be brighter days ahead. I don't fancy the favourite at all.
Okay. Yeah. Right, let's roll on to day 2 then, and we'll kick off with the Turners Novices Hurdle, obviously over the middle distance trip. Ben, I'll kick off with you actually, because you have potentially 2 in here. Am I saying that?
Mondui.
Thank you.
Mondui.
Mondui Boy and Taurus Bay as well.
Yeah, so we'll see. Mondui Boy, we only bought him from the Maxwell Dispersal. He needed a bit of time. He was a big raw horse. He won at Ludlow, fine. But he won very nicely the other day at Ascot. So we'll see how he comes out the race, and we'll potentially go here or the Albert Bartlett. I probably think the Albert Bartlett might be a little bit more, but I've been guilty of running horses too soon over too far. So we'll see with him, but he's a lovely horse for the future. And then the other one, Taurus Bay. Had a hard enough race.
He had loads of chat early season.
Yeah,
and
he's a very good. He's a very very good horse, and I think he'll be a real nice horse for the future. That disaster of a race where we had the hole and we finished in the dark. He looked like he was going to win 4-5, jump in the last, and he just got tired in the ground. It was quite hard work. So he's sort of left his mark. He is coming back, but I'll be taking a view on him in a few weeks as to whether we run him or not.
Steady away then. And Gordon, you have Skylight Hustle in here.
Yeah, I think of 5 or 6 entries in the race. Skylight Hustle definitely goes for this race. He was a fortunate winner in Leopardstown when Talk to Talk fell at the last. Jack came in after the race and he said, I don't think I was beaten. Personally speaking myself, I think he was beaten. I think Talk to Talk had a bit of boot. He was gone from him. He was going to win the race. But the one thing about our lad, he did gallop from the last of the line well. You know, he's not the heaviest horse in the world, so we decided we'd come straight to Cheltenham. I think 2.5 will suit him. You can drop him in and ride a race. He has that bit of pace and he jumps very, very well. I think he's got a good chance. You know, if Ballyfad ran in this race as well, he's good. We've 4 or 5 other entries. We'll just wait and see where the ground goes and what else we run. But yeah, Skylight Hustle, he's a classy horse and we like him. To be honest, he disappointed me last year as a bumper horse. I couldn't believe he got bet one day in a bumper. And he came back this year and first day he needed to run and he was very good then his next 2 runs.
I feel like if we see Ballyfad in here at declaration stage, we should be taking note.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Duly noted. Thank you, Gordon. No drama this end will obviously be a big white hope for team Paul Nicholls and co, and was a Cheltenham Festival Sale graduate for 160,000 as well, so you'll be rooting for
an
him.
English pointer too,
Yeah.
so he's like to come through that. Sure, he's a grade 2 and a grade 1 winner. He's done very little wrong. He's walk in the park. Jeez, he won his grade 1 and grade style altogether. He's very impressive. I just think Ballyfad is extremely tough. I just think the way he's come from race to race through his bumpers, and I think his horse is improving. I don't know where it's going to stop him, Ballyfad. I just think I'm going out and trip. I think he's one I'd be keeping an eye on.
Keep mentioning him, but this horse, Ben, the form of these races, I don't know, it's just style in which he's winning them that's the eye-catching thing.
That was at Newbury,
That was
it?
Newbury, yeah.
Yeah, that was fairly soon after he'd won his previous race as well. I think Paul was quite brave to go there so soon, if I'm honest, and I think he's come through that despite probably not being at his best, I reckon. And I think he's now had the perfect preparation to run a big race here. He has a profile of previous horses that haven't gone. You know, the Challo is not exactly a great indicator for the Turners. It never has been. So he's got it all to prove. But I think he's got a decent chance, to be honest. Is it the strongest race, gents? I don't know if it is it? You know, it's winnable. I think everyone that turns up in the first 10 in the betting will think they've got a squeak.
Okay, well, we like open races though, especially at the festival. And last line, Robbie, to you here.
Yeah, I like Skylar Hustle. I think he's been rock solid. I'll tell you what, they'll all have their fill of it now when they pass Declan Queenie's horse.
Oh yeah?
He was very impressive in Nace. He blew them apart from a long way out. If the ground was on the soft side, he jumps out, he goes a gallop, he doesn't mess around, and he does not stop. A lot of horses that finished a long way behind him in Nace have come out one since. So that form is working out okay. He's a very, very good horse.
I'll sort that. He's 14 to 1.
Yeah, he's definitely each way bet. They'll know about when they pass him.
Interesting. Okay. I will stick with you, Robbie, to discuss the next race, the Brown Advisory, the Novices Chase. And I mean, I feel like this race has been blown wide open courtesy of the flop of Final Demand at the DRF. And now everyone thinks that they've got a shot in here. But should we be writing a line? Like, was it that disappointing? I don't know. I mean, it was disappointing, obviously.
Yeah, it was. But Winnie's done this before. The Gaelic Warrior ran stinking that race and came out and won the Arkle on his next start. Yeah, look, I wouldn't. It was disappointing, but every horse is entitled to an off day.
Yeah.
He had an off day. And he'll come back. He's also stepping up to 3 miles as well for the first time since he won his point to point. It's a good race. It's a deep race. The Big Westerner, if she gets soft ground, is guaranteed to stay. And she's a very, very good mare. Romeo Cooley obviously won't go here. Kate Doughty was very impressive when he beat Final Demand. Again, I think better ground would suit him as well. It was a big step up what he did in Leopardstown on anything he'd done before that. But if he's in the ground, I like the Big Westerner. I think she's a very, very good mare, getting her £7. I think she's a Cheltenham Festival graduate as well, so I think she's got a big chance in this race.
Matt Hall, to my left here, is desperate to chime in, but you're not allowed. But you're all Big Western fans.
On his backside, as he usually does, watching videos of her in school.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, you banging on about 2 hours ago before this preview started.
I think if the rain keeps coming and you get soft ground, I think she's be ground dependent too. I don't think you know what I mean? If the ground can,
She is ground dependent.
she is ground
There's no doubt
dependent.
about it,
She'll have to have it soft, some bit of soft in the going. Sure. Fine demand. Like he didn't run that well in Cheltenham last year either. Like he was the big hope coming up the hill, and he was put in his place. I know he's finished third. It is probably a wide open race. I think what Gordon's on our horse, Western Fold, will run on, and I don't like he was closing at the line in Leopardstown, and for me at a bit of a bigger price, Western Fold probably won't be a million miles away.
Well, he's obviously Gordon got a totally different profile to the majority of horses we see in this race, loads of experience, but he's not been missed in the market. The market I'm looking at right now, he's 7-1. Like, he's,
Yeah, I think look, he was obviously a bigger price before the DRF.
yeah,
He wasn't that long back in us before he ran. I was very, very happy with how he ran on ground, and the trip to wasn't ideal. Final demand, I wasn't impressed with him in Limerick, to be honest, at all. You know, he got beat.
sorry, you weren't impressed with him.
I wasn't
Right.
impressed in Limerick. He got beat. He looked beat, to be honest, after 2 or 3 fences in Limerick. But listen, you can't second guess Willie. You know, he's obviously talking to him this week like he's improved and think he might have him back. He's obviously very dangerous, but I think winning naps of the week, if the ground comes up, not bad. I think my horse won't be able to first 3 Western Fold. I think he's a bet to nothing. I think he's winning naps of the week to be in the money, and to be honest, I think he won't be far away.
Okay, that's a positive shout then. We'll take note of that. Ben, do you have anything else to add here? You have to go right down to betting to get anything trained over here.
This
6 Mile
room
Bridge.
is 90% Irish, and all we're listening to is
Yeah.
Irish horses. And I know the form
That's
of
why
the
you're
last
here,
few
Ben.
years.
That's why you're here.
But like, I'm going to have to keep. I'm just have to keep trying. I just go down the list to find a few. But I personally don't think Final Demand was that. You know, he was unbeatable coming into the Turners last year, and he got beat 8 lengths, probably 10 lengths.
Yeah.
I don't know in the end. And then my opinion is, I do actually think Wendigo is a very good horse, but I think he's ground dependent as well.
Yeah.
I think he's a proper stayer. He ran very well in the Albert Bartlett last year. I think this race traditionally, especially when there was the 3 Grade 1 novices, this was seen as the proper sloggers, sort of like dour stayers, and I think that's what he is. So I think if he gets in a rhythm, he had got no sort of rhythm whatsoever around Kempton behind Kitsbull, and actually ran on to be a decent third again. Like, he never stops galloping, but that's all I can chuck at it from the English side, because I can't talk about 6 Mile Bridge.
No, dreadful, dreadful. Agreed. We joke. On we go, guys, to the Queen Mother Champion Chase, and this is really being pitched as a kind of Margeborough Marine Nationale rematch once again. What are we saying about Margeborough taking on, obviously, Marine Nationale again, Gordon? Would you be with Marine Nationale around Cheltenham?
Look, obviously he's a very good horse on his day, but I thought Marlsborough done the last day was special. I think if he turns up the form he was in DRF, I said, don't see what way he goes.
But he needs to put in that round of jumping again around Cheltenham.
Look, he'll be fine.
Okay, he'll be fine. That's all we need to know. What do you feel the same?
Oh, he's the horse you want right in the race, definitely.
Margeborough.
Oh, yeah. Now, on better ground, Marine Nationale is a different proposition on drying ground. But I think Margeborough performance, as Gordon says, the performance put up at the Dublin Racing Festival was outstanding, and it's a long way for Marine Nationale to reverse that form, even given the drying ground.
And Ben, we're expecting, like, you go down the betting, and obviously John Bond, we're expecting to go into the Ryanair.
I don't think the English have. I personally don't fancy a load of Sud, and
He's not good enough.
no, he's not.
No.
Thistle from the front,
No.
doing stupid things.
No, the English haven't got a hope here.
Right.
But Marine Nationale, is his wind average?
I don't train him, so I don't
No,
know anything about it.
like, it seems as soon as there's any cut in the ground, he struggles.
Oh, I
So
see, yeah.
I really don't think I'd say this, but Margeborough, because I don't think he's a good jumper of fence. I think he
Terrifies
I
us.
think he can make howlers left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
It can be a funny race though, the
He's
Queen
got the
Mother.
right man in his back
You
now to
know,
look after
yeah.
him.
Weird
Yeah.
winners of
It can be a funny race. I think if Marlsborough flopped, I think anything could win it. It is one of them races. Like, you look at Captain Guinness, all them horses. A few things go wrong. Like, I think.
Alexis was running a big race in the Champion Chase last year.
Yeah.
He goes here as well,
Yeah.
and he'll run a good race.
Well, and you just could see him running on for
He
a
was
place.
upsized Marine
Yeah.
Nationale when he
What's
fell to
happened to
last.
Elliott Tom? Is he okay?
I think he's just not running.
He's not running.
I don't think so.
Oh, no, I think he is, yeah.
Oh, you think he is?
Yeah, I think they said he's okay. after
So
his
what's
fall.
wrong with him?
You'd have an inside track, Vanessa.
I wouldn't have any
Oh,
opinion. I don't have any inside tracks, Gordon. None at all. Should we move on to the champion bumper?
Yeah, let's move on.
You're a dickhead.
I never said anything.
We'll move on
said anything.
to the champion.
Yeah.
Gordon, we're going to move on to the champion bumper, and you can give us some inside track on Keep Him Company, please, because, well, yeah, you can.
I think he's a very, very good horse, Vanessa. I think if the ground was on the easier side, I think he'd come home very, very strong. He's good, but he's very ground dependent. If the ground got quick, it would be a worry. I could run 3 or 4 on it with no limits. He's another tough horse. Classical Creek. Not Classical Creek. Caram as a kid. Sorry, Caram as a kid. He's another good horse. I think he's improved a lot from his run in Leopardstown. We hadn't got him that long after coming out with Tattersalls. If the ground come up a little bit on the easier side, a lot of my horses would have good chances, but if it dried up, it would be a worry, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's obviously Willie Mullins' domination, as you would expect, near the top of this betting. But we do, Ger, have quite a few graduates, as you would hope.
Yeah, sure. The Irish Avatar, Colin Bowe, post-word, he was sold last year. He was second in his maiden and sold in the April sale. He looked very good for Willie and Patrick. He'd have to have a really good chance. And then the horse that I thought was really impressive, Leopardstown, he came out of the May sale last year, was that Bentra Hill. Willie again. Geez, he was very impressive. I'd imagine Jodie Town doesn't ride it again. She won the bumper there last year. But like I think that horse, Bentra Hill or the Irish Avatar, but I just loved the attitude of keeping company the last day when he looked beat, he kind of stuck his head down and grinded away, and I think you're going to need that for the hill. I think keeping company long term, he's going to be a grade 1 chaser, I think, in the future. I just think he has the attitude to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's very, very good, but the easier ground, the better chance he has. But yeah. I do agree with you. I think long term, he could be anything.
I just love the way he puts his head down and kind of wants to win a race, and he really wants to do that now. You're going to need that.
2 votes for Keep Him Company then. I mean, it's just Irish not like.
I don't train any in the race.
The fact that Chris Gordon's horse is the best.
I'm not so sold on him.
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
That's Base Hunter.
I think he looks good, but I think he looks like he's got a limit, and in these races you just don't need that.
Yeah.
The horse that won the Newbury bumper the other day, I forget what it was called. Can I remember? Anyway, it turned up in the listed bumper the other day, and it won like a seriously good horse.
That's Dawson's horse.
Yeah. He says he's not going to run it.
He's going to the entry bumper, I think.
Yeah, shame, because he would actually give you guys a run. That's a serious. That was unbelievable.
Okay.
That was a seriously good performance.
But for Aintree, so we'll save that.
It was Newbury listed bumper.
John Dawson. He's
John
shrewd.
Dawson.
He's very shrewd operator too. Yeah,
it was
he's very shrewd
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Robbie, who do you fancy for the champion bumper?
I have no strong opinion on it.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Right, handicappers from the first couple of days. Does anybody want to throw anyone into the mix? You've got the old. You must. What do you have running in handicaps in the first few days?
I'll have a look.
Ultima options.
Ultima. Well, handstands goes somewhere. No. Yeah, well, I'm allowed to talk. If he runs in the Ultima, I think he'll win it, because he's a very, very, very good horse, and he's had an average season, and he's on the best form we've had him for a while, and he's rated 155. So if he's as good as I think he is, he's well in. What else have we got? Juvenile. Sort of, we've got a runner, but I don't know enough about him.
Okay.
Pitt Rock might run in the Ultima, but he might go 3 mile.
The reason I'm being so neggy about handstands here is because I want him to win the Ryanair.
Yeah, we'll wait to talk about that.
Okay, let's pause to talk about that. Gordon, in terms of any other business from the first 2 days, I know handicaps are just totally up in the air at this stage, but should we use this moment to just talk about the cross country with Favre de Chamdou?
Yeah, I suppose going back to handicaps, it's a bit early to be talking about handicaps when the weights aren't even out for a lot of horses. But I would say, if you're talking about Ryanair for handstands, and Ben's talking about handicap and thinks he's a certainty if he runs it. I think you'd have to stand up and listen to what he's saying. You know, his horses are flying. He's got a good line with a lot of them big races. I think handstands is interesting. Yeah.
Like
Cross country race. Listen, Fabio the Shampoo won well the last day. I probably won 4 in the race. Conflated, Pied Piper, Fabio the Shampoo, and the Goffer. Fabio was good the last day. On his second run over the fences, he really took to them. Yeah, I think if Gavin's horse runs up the top, Stumptown, it'll really suit us.
yeah.
You know, to keep him in a nice weight. So he's in good form, and he seems to have found a new lease of life since he started jumping banks. So really looking forward to it, to be honest, Vanessa.
Okay, love that. Do you guys, Ger or Robbie, do you want to add anything in for handicaps on the first 2 days? No?
Yeah, down Mexico way will run in either the Grand Annual or the 2.5 mile handicap chase.
Okay.
And he ran well in the Grade 1 his first start for a while behind Romeo Coolio.
Yeah,
So whatever handicap he goes for, he'll have a squeak.
down Mexico way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take that. Ger, do you want to throw anything else into the mix before we move on?
I actually just think you go on about the favourite for the champion hurdle. I think Gordon's horse, the Yellow Clay, he ran so well last year in the festival. I know things haven't been 100%, but being back in the Carl Cup, you see horses year in, year out that run well in Cheltenham. I think
Yeah.
Yellow Clay, for me anyway, see what the weight is, I want to keep an eye on. And I'd also keep an eye on in the pocket in the Grand Annual a bit. He's a Grade 1 winner. I don't know what weight he's going to get, but I just think maybe a bit of nicer ground. So Davy 2 with big prices I'd put up.
Okay, lovely. Let us move on to day 3, guys, and we'll kick off with the Mares Hurdle, please. And it was Woodoo who you put up last year at this festival preview as your nap of the meeting. She made you wait, as we know the story well now, but she duly delivered for us and you, Gordon. Does she have a chance of turning over Lossiemouth here?
I think she's every chance of turning over Lossiemouth. Yeah.
Come on, that's the fighting talk.
She's only been beaten once by Lossiemouth. Funny enough, at Aintree, she was beaten, I think, a length and 3/4, our first run into open company. She's course form around Cheltenham. She's 2 from 2. She's unassuming. She's not fancy at home, but she just knows how to win, and she keeps winning. I think she's a very, very good mare. It actually wouldn't shock me, to be honest, if Lossiemouth runs in the champion.
Really?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all. But listen, Woodoo has course form. She's a good mare. She's in very, very good form. But I'm not worried if Lossiemouth goes for the champion or the mares. I think this is a good mare. I think she's got a big chance.
Love that. Okay, very positive on Woodoo then. Ger, do you think Lossiemouth, where do you like?
I think she'll run here. I
Yeah.
think she got her answer the last day in Leopardstown.
Yeah.
And I think that you hear Ruby talking every week. Willie runs him in the races. He thinks he can win. I think she'll run here, and probably her record around Cheltenham. I think she's going to be very hard to beat. She's a 2.5 mile mare probably. I don't think she'll run the champion hurdle. I don't think she has a chance of it. I think she'll run here, and I think she'll probably take the beating.
Sadly, yeah. For Woodoo backers. What about you, Robbie, here?
I consider see her running the champion hurdle.
Oh,
Lossiemouth, I do. I think she will. I think Renew sit down, especially if Constitution 2 swerves it. They'll sit down with Rich Ritchie, and Rich Ritchie will want to be at the big table. So I think Lossiemouth will go champion hurdle if Constitution 2 doesn't. And then this is Woodoo's race to win. She's, as Gordon says, she's very unassuming. She does what she has to do. She's only been beaten the once. And it's going to cut up with Golden Ace, and if Lossiemouth goes elsewhere, it's going to cut up brighter days ahead. It's obviously one champion hurdle, so it'll be Woodoo's race to lose.
yeah, it will. Yeah, if it goes that way.
Yeah.
I love Woodoo. Let us move on to the stayers. And again, Gordon, we just have to start with you. Unfortunately, Ben doesn't have anything for this race, so we'll kick off with you, Gordon, because Tiupu and Honesty Policy. Tiupu is obviously the favourite. Honesty Policy currently sat in second slot in terms of the betting. I mean, serious hand in the race for starters.
Yeah, we're lucky enough. We've got a few nice horses for that division. Whether that's a good or bad sign, maybe we buy too many slow horses. I'm not quite sure. But look at Tiupu. He's. To be honest, he's a horse of a lifetime. You know, he never lets you down. He runs his race every day. You know, he got bet last year in the stayers. I think they might have went quick enough, and you know, I think if Jack had his time back, he'd probably I got rolling down the hill. Whether he beat the winner or not, I'm not sure. But he's in very good form. I arguably think his best run was his last run in Leopardstown. He's in great form at home. He's going to work after racing on Saturday in Fairyhouse, and all being well, you know, we're hoping to go back and try and regain his crown. You know, Honesty Policy is a good horse. Ran very well. Hit the line strong in Ascot.
Were you annoyed not to win that though?
No, not really, to be honest. Well, of course, you're on the day you're disappointed you don't win, but you know, it's all about the future with these horses. I was just happy with the way he hit the line in Ascot. To be honest, I think he's Tiapu's biggest danger, to be honest.
Yeah.
If the ground was very, very soft, it would be a worry for him, though. That would be the one thing I would say.
For Honesty Policy.
For Honesty Policy. Basically, the better the ground, the better chance for Honesty Policy, and the softer for Tiapu.
Okay, so either way.
Listen, there's something that probably be both of them, but both horses are in good form. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, okay. Do you think there's a last question, sorry, do you think there's even more improvement to come from Honesty Policy given the sort of horse that he is and where he's at in sort of his career?
You'd have to say so, probably. You know, he's only had a few runs. You know, he's the probably the younger brigade coming along.
Yeah.
But like, I'm going to say something very stupid to you now at the moment. Tiapu come back in this year, and if you didn't know he was the age he was, you'd say he was 6 turn and 7. How strong he looks. He looks a stronger horse to me this year than he has for the last 3. He goes home to Robbie Power every summer on his holidays. Whether he changes feed or not, I don't know. But he definitely come back in this year, and he looks. It's a silly thing to say, but me and Robert have discussed this in length. Like, he's got way stronger. So we'll see.
You obviously agree, Robbie.
I told him he got way stronger. Yeah.
All right, so he's just.
He did. It was amazing this year. He's a horse that usually never tries when he's out in the field. He gets fed out. But this year, from the minute he went out to the field, he just put on condition, and then kept it when he came back in.
Wow.
He's done really well. Rob Curve was a strong hand in the race with obviously last year's winner Bob Bollinger, who I thought on his first start of the season ran equally as good a race as Tiapu ran in defeat. And in the same boat as Gordon says he is with Honesty Policy and Tiapu. If the ground is on the soft side, then Tiapu will take an awful lot of beating. But Bob Bollinger is a huge threat to him on good ground. He's a very, very good horse. He's working very well. Thank you very much.
And he just comes alive at this place.
He's unbeaten around Cheltenham. I know once was very, very lucky when Galloping the Champ fell at the last, but on good ground he's a very, very good horse. He's got a lot of speed for a 3-miler. So
you wouldn't be putting anyone off backing him? Bob Bollinger, that is?
No, definitely not.
No.
I wouldn't be putting anyone off backing either of them.
Okay. Ben, do we have any hope?
Yeah, we have a bit of hope.
Marchantou?
Yeah, Marchantou and Cabra de Matin. He's looked a better horse this season. I often think this is a hard race for a horse to stay at the top of the tree for a long time because they're quite end to end, and you need a break. Like Tiapu's a great example of a horse that just keeps finding behind the bridle. You know, Big Bucks was phenomenal, but hasn't been a horse like him for a long time. I think it's fairly open. After the, Bob Bollinger's getting older, I think, is that fair to say?
We're all getting older, Ben.
Yeah, well, thankfully we're not racing at Cheltenham anymore. But Marchantou's on the improve, but he's got a long way to improve to be beating Honesty Policy or Tiapu. And Impostoir, I imagine will go for the Potemps, will he? I don't know.
Looks like it, yeah.
I don't imagine they'll run them both in this race. So.
Okay.
He's been a very good horse this year, though, Impostoir.
Should we move on to the Ryanair, please? And then I can stick with you, Ben.
Oh, my God. Yeah, here we go.
Please just run him here.
Well, on a serious note, I sit here now and I think that I honestly believe Handstands is a very, very good horse. He has not had a season that you'd be proud of yet this year. He was rusty at Carlisle. He had a wind issue and the Betfair Chase, which accounted for him disappearing out the back of the screen, beating 20 lengths. And then last time out, he was giving way to a horse that's Gold Cup, and he was half fit.
And you'd excuse anything a bad run around Windsor?
Yeah. I honestly think he's a Grade 1 horse, so he's very well handicapped. But if everyone goes for the Gold Cup, it's a very open race.
Well, that's just it. Is when you go from the top of the betting. I mean, handstands FYI for the Ryanair is 40-1, which is why I want him to commit tonight, and then we can all get on. But you go through it. Factor File goes to the Gold Cup. Apparently, everyone says Gaelic Warrior, that'll go to the Gold Cup. John Bon, well, he's John Bon. Impere Pass, he won't win it. Romeo Coolio shouldn't be in the betting. Django Bale go Gold Cup. Banbridge won't win it. Hartwood might. And then handstands is too big a price. It's just too big a price.
He's got very good form from last year. The horse he's beat twice last year is favourite for the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a forgotten horse, but like, let's be honest, if Gaelic Warrior or Factor File stay here, which I think one of them will, then it's going to be hard to beat, and I don't want to race for second, if I'm honest.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, okay. Understood.
Did you beat John Bon, do you?
I thought I'd have beaten John Bon 2 months ago, but John Bon...
This is not 2 months ago.
No, I know, but John Bon's had 2 hard races as well. So, and he is getting older. I think I'd probably try against John Bon. His Cheltenham form is hardly spectacular.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Factor File or Gaelic Warrior are good things.
Well, Factor File lines up here. He really is a good thing, but I just don't think he will he, Gordon? I don't think Ned.
Listen, it'd be interesting to see. I suppose the fact JP's Gold Cup horse from last year just doesn't seem to have clicked yet. But funny reading in the Racing Post today, Gavin said he's seen a bit of light in him lately, and he could end up going there. To be honest, I think if Factor File or Gaelic Warrior running this, they're penalty kicks.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't shock me if both of them don't run. And I think this is probably a race that's going to really cut up.
Yeah. Do you have anything for it? A huge price?
I think 20-1 Firefox. I think I've been getting it wrong with him for the last year and a half, running them over the wrong trip. We stepped him right out and tripped the last day in the Irish Gold Cup. He finished 4th. I think if he runs in a race like this, drop him in, follow him round. I'm not saying he win it, but I think at 20-1, I think it's a massive each way price.
Yeah, he was about 20-1, and like you say, it's a race that's really going to cut up. Hartwood, I sort of was rude about him momentarily there, saying he couldn't win it.
He could.
Yeah, sorry.
Possibly.
Yeah, he could possibly. There you go.
He could possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Gaelic Warrior them turn up, he won't. But he ran very well last year. He was second to Factor File. As we said, it could be a very open race. He's been trained for the race. He's got decent course form. If it cuts up, he's a chance.
Yeah. Ger, do you have anything else for the Ryanair?
No, I just think what Gordon said. If Gaelic Warrior and Factor File don't run it, I think that Hart would have a really good chance. And you wouldn't know what Willie do too. Willie could swing Elliott Thompson to it or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Something's going to come into this race from kind of left field, I think.
Imperial Pass will run this.
Imperial Pass. There's a couple here that if Gaelic Warrior doesn't run it.
He'll go to Aintree.
There you go.
I'd say he's going to Aintree.
I'd say.
Well, but Willie Mullins will have his say, yeah.
It's like the 90% chance.
He was very impressive.
The horse will run the Supreme Novice. There's still a 10% chance he could go over the tournament.
Shirley, it's a dry old do at my end of this. Oh, just the gin and tonic would be nice, but the boys are so well served throughout this. Totally abandoned at this
Say
end.
water might be safe.
Should we move on to day 4? We're rattling through this, lads. Well done, everyone. On to the Albert Bartlett. Oh no, well, we should give the Triumph a mention. Do you have anything for the Triumph, Gordon?
Unfortunately, I have, but they're not fast enough.
Fine.
I think Willie's horse, the horse that won in...
Narciso has.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him. You know, from the first day I saw him at Fairy House, you know, this horse really straightened up every way. You know, he looks like a 3-mile chaser at the moment. I think, to be honest, I think he's one of the bankers of the week in Cheltenham.
Yeah, a lot of chat about him, isn't there?
I think we have 3 or 4 entries, but to be honest, I think we might try and divert him away from him, if I'm being honest.
Okay, try and avoid that. Should we move on to the Albert Bartlett for you lads? I feel like that's your department, really. And
to be honest, before we start, I think one of the best men to sell a horse for the Albert Bartlett is Sean Doyle.
Sean Doyle?
Every horse he ever sells, he says this horse will win the Albert Bartlett. So I think you should be asking Sean first. You know, he normally sells slow ones. You know what I mean?
You've been.
Oh man, Johnny.
You've been thrown under the bus here. Now there's a microphone. You got to do some talking here. What wins the Albert Bartlett?
This year or next year?
Well, Next year we'll get a huge prize.
He's in the sale tomorrow, is he?
Yeah.
Spin the Yarn wins this race if the ground is soft. He's,
Derby Sale grad.
Yeah, he's a very, very good horse. He was very lazy at home. Gordon only realised he was a good horse after the last day, but I knew it as a 3-year-old. And thank God he listened to me, and he's a big chance in this race.
Okay, and he's currently a 14-1 shot as well, so
Yeah.
lovely big price. We'll take that. Do you concur? Took you a little while to learn?
Yeah, to be honest, the one thing I will say about Sean, the day we bought the horse, actually Margaret O'Toole bought the horse, he told us that he was made for the Albert Bartlett. You know, he's a real stayer. You know, he says.
Sure.
But that's the way Sean says.
Sean,
most
it's
of us.
funny that that's your sales line because no.
Good stepping stone for the Gold Cup.
Oh yeah, that's the line.
Point is the real stepping stone.
Yeah.
Next year's Albert.
Oh, well achieved.
I think all joking aside, I could run 4 or 5 in the race. You know, I think it's a race that London could win.
Yeah.
You know, I think actually a horse I bought off Sam Curling, Kaczynski, I wanted to go for the Martin Pipe, but the owners weren't very keen. They wanted me to go for the Albert Bartlett. I think he could have an each way chance at a massive price.
Okay. Dr. Steinberg is up at the top of the betting, and there's another Derby Sale graduate as well, so we should be mentioning him really at this preview.
Another one of Walter Connor's, sure, yeah. You see it co-pick the boards, and you've Dr. Steinberg. Sure, he was very good in the DRF. Sure, he you know, he won by 8 lengths and looked like, for a Dr. Dino, his first Dr. Dino, you really see that once 3 miles. Most of them don't seem to get that kind of extreme trip. I think he's a market leader. I do think that Sean's horse spinning the yarn, actually, if he's right, I think that horse is improving coming away. And I thought that there's another horse in it that I thought might have a bit of a chance at a big price. Well, was Apache Tribe, Noel Kelly's horse. I think that horse will actually run okay.
Okay.
He won an air the other day, but he's going the right way. He was Dennis Murphy's. He was sold last year, I think, in the February sale. It's on a jukebox, and I think that horse is worth a mention.
Apache Tribe for Noel Kelly then.
Yeah.
Do you think Dr. Steinberg travels too keenly for an Albert Bartlett? Are you worried about that at all?
No.
Okay, fine. Good. Anything else to add?
I think he's rightly favoured. He's improved every time he stepped up from trip. He's improved, and he's the horse they all have to beat. But I agree with Sean and Gordon. I think Spinning Yarn is an unassuming horse. He's improved as well with every run. I think this test of stamina will really suit him. So each way I'd say Spinning Yarn would have a right chance.
Okay, getting a few positive nods.
Paul Nolan's horse, the Devil's coach, man. Isn't the Devil, you know? Sorry.
The devil you know, yeah.
Isn't out of a leader. You know, he races like a stayer. You know, he relaxes behind the bridle. You know, if I couldn't win it, I'd love to see him.
Okay. Right, on to the big one. And Ben, wake up, because this is why we've had you on the show. This is why you're here. No, you've been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But the Jukebox Man, currently second favourite behind Django Bay, and obviously comes here off the back of winning the King George, has just got this excellent sort of win record next to his name. First of all, how is he?
He's actually genuinely in great form. Yeah, we're very happy. Very happy.
Talk us through the King George victory itself. Obviously, only a nose defeat to Banbridge. Victory to Banbridge. Some people will pick at that form, but he was tough as you like.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I've been getting going for a little while, and it's nice to have a horse of this calibre, mixing it at that level. And to win the King George was pretty special. It was an amazing race on paper, and it turned out to be a great race. And of course, as soon as everyone's finished, everyone starts picking holes in this, that, another. So, but I don't think he's suited to Kempton. He's not a speed horse, never has been. So I think the race, I think he did well to win it. I think he showed good attitude, and I think he comes here with a solid resume to go and run well.
And the extra bit of distance could only be a positive.
No, I think that's a positive. I think the tracks are positive. He should have won Albert Bartlett. Stellar Story came and grabbed us on the line. I'd love to just maybe rerun that race, but maybe we'd have been beaten again. But he obviously handles the track. And yeah, I just think he's an exceptional jumper of a fence, and that's what you need. You need rhythm, and you need to be getting from A to B without interrupting your stride. It's sort of, and I've watched enough of them. I've not competed any of them, but I think we hopefully got a good chance.
And obviously when you've got an absolute cracker like him at home, he's only had the 2 runs in open company over fences. And when you're looking at him at home, I mean, you know, like, does he wow you? Or
No.
what sort of horse
No,
is
he's never wowed me once at home. He's not the best workhorse. He's a bit workmanlike. You know, his first canter is just fairly average, and the more you do, the better he gets. We'll take him away. We'll take a few of them away for tomorrow to Warwick, and if he's wary, I think he is, he'll look good tomorrow because he works very well on grass. He comes alive on the day. He's not a horse that if anyone walked into my yard now and I tried to sell him to you as a nice horse for the future without any form, you'd say, oh, I'm not sure. He's a good physical, but he's got wonky legs, and he's not a machine.
Right. And who do you see as your main danger? Would that be Django Bay?
I suppose no. I think Factor File, if he stays, is the main danger. Obviously, Gaelic Warrior. You know, people say if they'd ridden him differently, he would won the King George. I don't know. I personally think Factor File, if he stays, and obviously Nicky's horse is a very good horse, but I think he can make the odd mistake, and I think that's going to be hard to. It's too much of a tight-knit race for any mistakes. It'll be the horse that travels and jumps the best that wins the race. I don't think there's an absolute standout. Maybe after the race there will be. Like, who would have tipped? I know the way you're thinking last year to go and win by 6. You know.
And then, well, I was just going to say, then you look at that performance now, given what he's done since Gordon, and you know, you think, where did that come from? And like, it was just sort of such a standout performance in his career. That do we now just not believe the form of that race?
I think sometimes the Gold Cup can do that to horses. I remember being in Cheltenham a few years ago, and Apretard won the Gold Cup, and you think nothing's going to beat this horse for the next 2 or 3 years, and it obviously took its toll on him. And you know, when it took its toll on, I know the way you're thinking or not, I don't know, but he just doesn't look like the same horse this year like he was even going into the Gold Cup last year. To be honest, I think Factor File could either win this in the bridle by 5 lengths or he doesn't stay. For me, I think he probably could win it, but I do think the race could go back to the UK this year.
Oh God, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I do. I genuinely do, and I think Rebecca Curtis' horse could actually suit Ben's horse, because he's going to go very, very fast. And I think if the jukebox man, if only Ben says, I remember looking at the horse at the sales, and Saidani was the most beautiful horse. You buy him every day of the week, and then you look at him head on, you think, oh my God. But in fairness to Ben, you know, he had the guts to go and buy him on the day, and you know, what a servant he's been. I actually think the jukebox man could take all the beating in the Gold Cup. If he's a bit like Romeo Julio in the Arkle, if he's there in firing distance, I think at the second last, I think he could take all the beating. But I think that the horse of Rebecca Curtis is really going to play into his hands, because he's going to stretch them out and make it a really good gallop.
Yeah, and
yeah, unfortunately, I don't think of anything good enough for the Gold Cup this year. But I think Ben could actually win it, to be honest.
Love to see it. We'd love to see it. Robbie, what about, like, are we putting a line through Galloping de Champs too soon, given his defeat?
Yeah, but he is getting on a little bit. He's been beaten twice. I was disappointed with him at Dublin Racing Festival. I thought conditions, everything was in his favour. I thought he'd come on from the run at Christmas, and he didn't improve as much as I hoped. He was beaten last year in the Gold Cup. It's going to be tough for him to come back. I can't see it, to be honest. I'm a big fan of Ben's horse, always have been, and I thought he won the King George when things weren't in his favour. He missed the last. If he'd have jumped the last well, he'd have won a length. You watch that race back. When they go around the bend after the winning post, he's gone 2 lengths past the rest of them. So I think stepping up and trip is really going to suit him. And Factor File is his big danger. And if the question mark is, obviously with Factor File, will he stay? If he stays, he's going to take a lot of beating.
If. It's a big question,
yeah,
isn't it?
It is, but sure, look, they thought of him as Gold Cup horse last year, and they switched him to the Ryanair because he'd been beaten by Galloping de Champs. He's a year older now, a year stronger. He's probably improved, and this is the time to try it.
Given Team McManus, if what you were saying about what Gavin was saying about, I know the way you're thinking, sparking a little bit more at home, if we see Factor File rerouted to the Ryanair, is that because I know the way you're thinking is...
I'd be shocked if Factor File just running the Gold Cup
I would
myself.
too, yeah.
Okay.
I'd be shocked if just. But to be honest, Ben's horse wants to win. We watched the way he put his head out in the King George. He looked like he was going to win. He was beat, and he dropped his head after the last of the line. For me, that's what you need to win. Now, horses don't often win a Gold Cup by heads and necks. You know, you're either going to win or you don't.
Yeah.
But I like the attitude the horse has.
I can't see Django Bay reversing the form with him anyway.
No, and the one thing you have to remember is he hasn't much mileage. He's no miles on the clock. That'd be one thing that would be a plus for me.
The jukebox man.
Yeah.
And Joe, final line to you on all things Gold Cup. Django Bay was obviously a graduate from the February sale. Which we've got tomorrow. Exciting times.
Sure. Mick Goff.
Is he on the front of the? Is he on the front of the
front of the
catalogue?
catalogue, yeah.
Good
Mick
man.
Goff.
Nice surprise.
He was actually second, and he didn't win. He's maiden either. He was second to No Flies on him, below in down in Auchinard. So just telling you, he did. Yeah. Sean has a Milan horse there tomorrow. Proven Admiral Bartlett track. I don't know. Graduates. There's loads of Tattersalls graduates in it. You know, Hottie Clores just mentioned.
Yeah.
Harley Dunn. Do you know what I mean? He sold that horse. Rebecca Curtis, they're having a brilliant year, Irish national winner. But I'm a massive fan of Factor File. He won in Bell Harbour, a 5-year-old maiden. Saw him in the very first day. I know, like, the whole of Monbeg team, all serious Donica, Sean, they've produced multiple Grade 1 horses. And I just think Factor File has had that bit of class about him from the very first day. And to me, I think he should have probably had a go at the Gold Cup last year. He was swerved away. He'll definitely run this year, I think. And to me, Factor File, I think he will stay, and I think he'll win the Gold Cup.
There you have it. All right then. The section of handicappers from day 1 and 2 didn't go that well, so I don't really know if I should be throwing it out there for day 3 and 4. Surely give us something that's going to win the last race, the Martin Pipe.
To
No?
be perfectly honest, I don't think I'm as strong this year as I have been. It's just so hard to qualify these horses. You know, you nearly need 2 seasons into a horse to qualify for Martin Pipe now, if you've got a real one. I'd probably have 3 or 4 runners in it, but I'm not going to put my head in the block. Let's see the weights.
No would do.
We've no would who, definitely not. But listen, our card was marked her last year. We knew she was a second season hurdler coming in, so we kind of knew what mark she had and where we were, because she'd done most of the racing in the UK. But at the moment, like, all our horses that are probably going to run it, we don't know what the marks are for half of them. So, like, if we're a week soon. We're doing a preview next week, so we might be a little bit more bullish then.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that one. God. Right, Ben, what about some of your other runners? No questions asked. Will he tip up in any of these races? He's got 4 entries, has he, I think? Or loads of them anyway.
A fairly strong hand in the Johnny Henderson.
Yeah.
With Van der Poel. No questions asked. Possibly Mambo. I just don't know where they go. The handicaps are really all out for the washing at the moment, but I do fancy Diva Luna in the mares.
Yeah.
In the mares chase. She's an exceptional mare when she's right. She's right this year. She annoyingly picked up a knock before going to the Grade 1 at Sandown the other day, and we couldn't run her. But thankfully it seems to have come right, and I just think she's so much untapped potential. She doesn't have to try. She's got the gorgeous way of going, and she looks unbelievable.
Could she beat Dino Blue, or is she sort of...
You never know until you try, but I wouldn't want to take her on with anyone else.
Brilliant.
You know, she's a serious filly, and I think she's very talented.
And last line to you, I know you've said about the handicaps all being up in the air, but would Pick Rock go for the National Hunt Chase?
I think so. Yeah.
Each way shout at a big price?
No, yeah. He's a lazy jumper, and he takes the odd fence with him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, he's a very talented horse.
Yeah.
He put it together the other day at Sandown. He looked good.
Yeah.
Jukebox Kid won't run, I don't think. I think we're going to go to somewhere called Ireland and try and win the national there with him. So
Oh my God.
see how we get on.
You know you'll have to run against Gordon Elliott's horses.
Yeah, I'd be delighted.
To be honest, Ben, I'd be
The
delighted.
first time I've been north of Birmingham.
I'd be delighted if you come over too.
Yeah.
Right, little smile there. Right, and what about naps and dark horses? We're supposed to be mentioning a few in here. Echoing Silence.
Yeah, she run the mare's novice hurdle. Ideally, she'd want a bit of ease in the ground, but she's a nice mare. Been going very well. Won well the last day in Punchestown. Has been left off and trained specifically for this race. The races suit her as well. You know, stiff 2 miles. She'll go well.
She was a 410,000 Cheltenham Festival sale graduate. So she's a mare's novice.
You can get Sam Curling I mentioned there now. Sam.
Win the Gold Cup.
Where's the microphone? Let's throw them all under the bus.
He could win the Fox Hunters as well.
With which horse?
Yeah, actually, Ger told me that we were to ask about the Fox Hunters.
Yeah, we have 2 for the Fox Hunters this year. We have Wonderwall and another horse called Wrapped Up in May. So 2 of them will have chances.
And Wonderwall going to win it again?
Hopefully, yeah. He has the form and he acted well around the track last year and he seems to be going well. So he's in great shape, yeah.
You're happy enough with him?
Yeah, very happy, yeah.
Positive. Okay. And what else should we be mentioning in naps and dark horses? Spindleberry in the Mare's Chase. She was a cheap May store sale graduate, Ger.
Which
Spindleberry, if she runs in the Mare's Chase against Steve Luna and Dinah Blue.
She had a very bad run the last day. I know Danny minded her.
I think she got put in her place the last day, didn't she?
There's been a lot of chat about her.
Yeah. Like to be honest, she beat a horse of Faye Bromley's or Faye in
Bramley.
the time before, and that got tailed off the next day.
What's it called? Blue colours.
Yeah, horse came out Willie's. Yeah, yeah.
They talk a strong game about her there.
Began.
Spindleberry. No,
Spindleberry.
Spindleberry. The owners do anyway. Okay, what's your bet? We need best bets of the festival, basically. Is that what we're going to roll on to next, Bobby? I feel like my running order's a bit out of sync now. Sorry. Have you all got a best bet? Gordon's looking nervous. Ger, we'll start with you.
I'll give you 2. I'll give you a short price one.
Here we go.
We haven't mentioned, I think, Bambino Fever. And it's going to be a cracking race with us going out now, but I just think that mare that won the champion bumper last year, I think she's of the shorter one, she's a good chance. And I'll put up one at a bigger price, Chemical Energy in the Fox Hunters Garden.
Against Wonderwall?
Yeah, but sure, Barry O'Neill will be riding it, so that's worth a stone. All day long. I think nicer ground. Chemical Energy's ran well in Cheltenham before. I think he's been minded for the race and he'll run fresh. I think at a bigger price.
Yeah, he does actually run well fresh. You know, he's a high 140s horse now. Ground is a big thing with him as well. If the ground's on the nicer side, he'd have a chance. Barry O'Neill riding him is like, you know, having Ruby Walsh going around Cheltenham. You know, obviously Jamie Codd's not here, so I can say that. But yeah, no, he definitely has a good squeak. You know, a good each way squeak at a. You know, he's probably 14 or 16 to 1, is he?
I think he's 20 to 1.
20 to 1, yeah.
Big price,
definitely, yeah.
That's Chemical Energy then. Is that your? But we want your best bet. Was that your bet? That's not your best bet, is it? I'll come back to you because you've got 50 or so horses, whereas Ben doesn't. So what's your best bet of the festival?
I would seriously, the form he's in, wherever I run handstands, I would back him. Because if he runs in
handstands.
If he runs,
I go with handstands.
We're all going off to back handstands in all 4 races.
If he runs
Last time you said that, Gordon was rightly done.
If he runs in the Ultima, then I think he's a graded horse in the Ultima. And if he runs in the Ryanair, it's because it's a weak race. So, or weaker.
I'd say listening to Ben, it's like me with Eddie O'Leary sometimes. You know, Ben is probably very keen to run him in the handicap, thinks he can win, but the owners are obviously very keen to go to Ryanair.
They're keen to take on the world.
So it's trainers reading between the lines. I like it. Okay, and Gordon, we're going to come to you last. Robbie, what's your best bet of the festival?
Best bet of the festival, Spin the Yarn.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And you can't do the same then, Gordon. What's your best bet of the festival?
I think I napped her up last year. I'm going to nap her again.
Woodoo again?
Woodoo.
Come on, Woodoo. Love it, love it. All right, well, look, boys, thank you very much. Good fun.
You never asked Ben or his nap.
The best bet of the festival.
Your nap, no?
Ger's already given 2, and Ben's already given.
Oh, you can't give 2. Ben's given handstands. Ger's.
Go on, Ger.
And I'll go Bambino Fever.
Okay, Bambino. Yeah, you've been very positive on her. In fairness. Thank you all, everyone, for listening so intently and joining in along the way. Thank you, boys. Very good fun. Best of luck to you two in all seriousness. Very exciting few weeks ahead. Hope it all goes smoothly for you. And that was your Tattersalls Cheltenham Festival preview show.
Yeah.
Well done, Vanessa.
Thank you.